Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has urged more countries to join the US-Israeli war against Iran. His comments came after dozens of people were injured when Tel Aviv and the southern towns of Dimona and Arad in the Negev desert were hit by Iranian missiles. Israel's famed defense system failed to intercept them. Our correspondent Tania Krämer traveled to Dimona, where residents are now coping with the aftermath of a direct Iranian strike.
A scene of destruction. Dozens of people were injured in this residential neighborhood in Dimona, southern Israel, when an Iranian missile struck the area. Some people didn't make it to public shelters in time.
When I got here, there was total chaos, a lot of destruction. Nobody knew how to deal with the situation. We Hatzalah medics have been on autopilot. First of all, we rescued people, got them out of their homes. We've rescued elderly people, children, adults, young people, women and babies.
Dimona is close to the country's nuclear research center, which is believed to house its undeclared military nuclear program. People thought they would be safer here.
So you see the sheer destruction here behind me. This is where a missile hit, and you can see the apartment block over there, completely destroyed. Also, what used to be a kindergarten here behind us.
Anat Azuleh is going through the debris of the family's apartment. She and her husband ran to the nearby public shelter. Many homes here don't have their own safe rooms. It's not easy for elderly people to make it there on time, and even there, it doesn't feel safe.
We heard the boom above the shelter. The whole structure shook. Shockwaves rattled the windows. Everybody hugged and tried to keep each other safe.
With the US-Israeli war against Iran now in its fourth week, the Israeli public here continues to show support, even though there's no clear end in sight.
I'm willing to pay the price as long as Israel continues all the way to the end, as long as there is no mess afterwards. Because we're in Dimona, because of the nuclear reactor, we're very high on their list.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has visited sites in Dimona and the nearby town of Arad. He called on Israelis to remain steadfast and follow the guidelines of the Army's Home Front Command, designed to protect civilians under attack. He also urged other countries to join the war.
4 things that they're doing in 48 hours. And I ask the leaders of the world, the leaders of the free world, the leaders of the moderate states, what more are you waiting for? President Trump has correctly said that Israel, the United States and Israel in this great partnership, we're fighting the battle not only for ourselves, but for all of you.
For the residents of Dimona and Arad, these strikes have brought the war close to home for the first time. It seems their resolve is not broken yet, but the longer the conflict continues, the more it will be tested.
Daniel Rubenstein is a political commentator and former advisor to Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. I asked him how Iran's attacks on Israeli towns, including Dimona, will affect Netanyahu's war strategy.
It's very clear what the Iranian regime's intentions are, and we don't need the missile attacks of last night to understand what the Iranian regime's intentions are. The reason that Israel and the United States are at war with the Iranian regime, especially Israel, is that the Iranian regime wants to destroy Israel. It wants to kill everyone here. That's its policy. And because it has been stockpiling massive amounts of ballistic missiles and refusing any serious compromise on its nuclear program, it means the regime is acquiring the means to do exactly what it says it wants to do, and that's why it must be stopped. The fact that some ballistic missiles got through last night is just a confirmation that we could not have waited until Iran had thousands more of these ballistic missiles that would have overwhelmed any missile defense system. We had to act now, before the threat was too late, before Iran could protect itself with a massive amount of ballistic missiles. That stockpile needed to be eliminated.
Right. Prime Minister Netanyahu is calling for broader international involvement. What does Israel want its allies to do in calling for a wider war?
I would start by speaking with a very clear voice that the Iranian regime needs to change its behavior and end its calls for the destruction of Israel, end its calls for the destruction of the United States, and to stop supporting terrorist groups around the region. That would be a very clear start, to stop doing business with the Iranian regime until it changes its behavior, and to understand that Israel and the United States are on the front line of a war for the future of humanity. I will note with great interest that just a few months ago, the German government increased its defense cooperation with Israel by purchasing $6 billion contract of Arrow 3 defense missiles. These are missiles that are meant to shoot ballistic missiles out of the sky that will protect the people of Germany. So I know the German government understands the threat of the Iranian regime, does not want to see it become a nuclear power, does not want to see it have a massive stockpile of ballistic missiles that can deliver a nuclear warhead in the future. So I think Iran is actually quite isolated. It doesn't have very many friends. It has a partnership with Russia. It's Iranian drones that Russia has been using to kill Ukrainians, but Russia is not intervening on the side of Iran. China needs Iranian oil, but it's not standing up for Iran. Much of the world is against what the Iranian regime is doing, and I think a creative solution will be found to open the Strait of Hormuz again in the near future.
But Israel has gone in hard. Israel's calling for, Prime Minister Netanyahu is calling for regime change in Iran. How is this supposed to happen without even further escalation than what we're seeing now? I mean, the Iranian supreme leader was killed, but Iran's still being able to fire back. So surely this is not working.
It's important to understand the threat that we're facing. Iran is a country of 90 million people. It's bigger than France and Germany combined. It is a formidable enemy, and it is an enemy that has been trying to destroy the state of Israel, both directly and through its proxy armies on our borders, Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hamas in Gaza, the Houthi pirates in Yemen. A war is not going to end in a few days, and Israel is going to do everything that it can to ensure that the Iranian regime's capabilities to enrich uranium is eliminated.
And what does that look like? Where does this escalation actually stop?
It stops when the United States and Israel have together decided that Iran has been so degraded that it no longer poses a threat. If it wants to keep threatening the United States and Israel, then it's going to be on the receiving end of attacks by the United States and Israel. We need to see a change in Iranian behavior, and I hope very much that the great people of Iran will see an opportunity in the future to take back their country, which has been stolen from them by a death cult since 1979, this Iranian Islamic regime that is brought nothing but harm and misery to its own people and to its neighbors. You could see the Iranian regime is attacking not just Israel, it is taking out its aggression on the United Arab Emirates, on Bahrain, on Qatar, on Oman. Even missiles were entering Turkish airspace. The Iranian regime is lashing out, and it needs to be put back in its place at a minimum. And I hope this regime can be overthrown one day by the Iranian people, who will set their country on a much better direction than the one that it's on.
Daniel Rubenstein, political commentator and former advisor to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.